Hey, howdy, hey, Toas, Turangas, Boroks, Matorans, and the rest of you biological beings. Wolfman 47 dash it. So I've previously talked about Bionicle in previous videos, and I have done at least one of the games as a sort of gameplay video, not so much a let's play, but more of a gameplay video. So I'm not going to go into too much detail about the franchise at large, but I will, because today we're just talking about one of the games that was for some reason cancelled. So let's talk about that. So growing up and having a love for Lego, I played a lot of Lego video games. Now some of you might be thinking that all these different YouTubers have described all the Lego video games and often put in the title, this is all the Lego video games, but actually no. They often do miss out these Lego video games that I guess you could say sort of set the foundations of future video games. So you know, Lego Island, Lego Creator, Lego Loco, Lego Chess, Lego Alpha Team, Lego Creator Harry Potter, Lego Racers. Yeah, all these games that the Lego themselves made, and yeah, they did set the foundations for the future of Lego video games, which then of course the franchise would, and then the license would carry on to Electronic Arts and then over to Traveller's Tales, who would then be bought by WB Games, and you get the idea with that. But anyway, in the height of its popularity, Bionicle was meant to have a video game that would basically either be served as a conclusion to the 2001 storyline, because every year Bionicle would have a new storyline, or it would just be the whole storyline told in a video game, and that video game was The Legend of Matanui. So this game was originally going to be released on both Game Boy Advance and PC, and also GameCube as well, as it turns out. But for reasons that I'm still struggling years later to figure out, the game was ultimately cancelled, and the Game Boy Advance game was the only one that really came out, and it was retooled into a completely different game, Quest for the Toa, which ended up having very poor reviews. So what was the original Bionicle game going to be about? Well, judging from the sort of teaser trailer that it had, which was in a lot of Lego promotional CD-ROMs back in the day, my understanding is that we get to play as each of the 6 Toas. So Tahu, the Toa of Fire; Gali, the Toa of Water; Kapaka, the Toa of Ice; Pahatu, the Toa of Rock; Onua, the Toa of Earth, and I'm probably missing one. Hold on. Oh, actually, no, I'm not. Oh no, Lua, the Toa of Air. Sorry, I did forget him. So you'd play as one of these different Toas, and you basically be interacting with Matoran, travelling across the island of Matanui, and basically just doing all sorts of things here and there. Now, because lots of people had a lot of fond memories of playing all these different Lego video games when they came out, there have been like various efforts to sort of try and get these games to be ready and available to people using fan-made efforts. Unfortunately, Lego themselves, as great of a company as they are, they have sort of told these people to shut down these projects for various reasons. And I remember there was meant to be a Bionicle game that was going to be released on Steam, albeit an unofficial Bionicle game, but Lego ultimately had that cut down as well. And I think the only game, as far as I know, that so far has not been told by Lego to basically shut it down was Manic Miners, which I have done a video of previously. And I know there is a Lego Island sort of continuation in the works. And with this particular Bionicle game, even though it never really got an official release, years later, the Biomedia Project, who are this group of people that are trying to keep the franchise alive by making sure all of its online stuff is still readily available for people to access for free if they want to, managed to get hold of an alpha build of the game, and have released it to the public. And I've not yet done a video of it or played much of it, but from what I have seen of it, it basically was going to be like every other Lego game that came out at around that time, you get the sort of traditional Lego logo with all the little pieces falling down to create the Lego logo, and then followed by whatever Lego video games were called at the time. So I know it was Lego Media, then Lego Software, and then just simply Lego. And then there was, and then after that it would show the developer logo as it usually does, and then the intro for the game, which was going to be what we see in the teaser trailer for the game, or just pretty much any of the different sort of different films too, with Bionicle featuring different towers. Basically, Lego were very heavily wanted to promote these theme / franchise, whatever you want to call it, in the first year of its existence. But it felt like they didn't really need to do it, because after its first year, it ended up being so successful that it managed to continue for a good 10 years until Lego eventually cancelled it to make way for other themes and so forth. Although they would eventually reboot it into something else. But ultimately, The Legend of Matanui, it never came into existence. Would have probably been a good fun game to play, and if I do get a chance to go on Biomedia and play a version of the game from there, hopefully not have it be torn down by Lego, then I will definitely do that for sure. Because I grew up with Bionicle. I've got not all but most of the sets. I've previously played a flash game called the Chronicler's Adventures, whatever it's called, where you basically play as there's this Matoran called Takua, who goes off on a journey to basically go to these different villages and chronicle the things that the Toa do to help save their respective villages, cities, whatever. They get the game being what it was, and I think that was probably good enough. It's not quite what Legend of Matanui was going to be, but it's still good enough for a flash game, which you can play, albeit you have to download it to play it. But yeah, it is what it is. So yeah, I think Legend of Matanui would have probably done well, considering the height of popularity that it would have come out as. It's just a shame that Lego had to retool the games, and even though we did eventually get a console-based Bionicle game that was also released on PC called simply Bionicle the Game, the only reason why it exists is so it's a tie-in to the then upcoming film Bionicle Mask of Light, which was the very first Bionicle feature film, and I think also the very first Lego feature film. But they wanted to not take too many risks and release it straight to home media instead of on a big screen. I don't know how well it would have done on a big screen, given how cheaply made the film is. Don't get me wrong, it's definitely a good film, and that's not me being biased. It was a good fun film. That wasn't too cheap looking, and I know nowadays it's become a bit of a meme fest for a lot of people. But yeah. So overall, I think it's good that The Legend of Matanui is available in some shape or form. It's just a shame that it's not in a sort of retail capacity, and those of us that have PCs, yes, we're able to play it on PC, but if you're hoping to play it on GameCube or whatever, then unfortunately it's just not going to happen. So yeah. And with the few video games that Bionicle has had over the years, this was probably going to be the best one had it been released, because if I'm being quite honest, Bionicle the game is very linear and not really that great. And Bionicle Heroes, while I will accept it was the second game developed by TT Games for any particular Lego franchise, it's just a flat shooting game. So yeah, and I think this would have been the best one of the three if it came out, just judging from the limited amount of footage I saw of it and everything. So yeah, and maybe one day I will do a let's play video of it, because I don't think I'd want to do a full playthrough of it, but maybe a let's play video at least for sure, just to acknowledge it. So yeah, but anyway, that's what I've got to say about The Legend of Matanui. Very rarely do Lego cancel video games, but it is what it is. But yeah, if you've heard of the game and you've played it, share your thoughts in the comments, because I'd love to hear what you think. especially if you've had to sort of tweak certain settings and everything to get it working. I'd love to hear about it. But other than that, thank you so much for watching. Like, share, comment and subscribe if you can, please. And those of you that are new to my channel, I do vlogs every Thursday, talking about all sorts of different things, including top 10s, kind of sort of hauls, rants on life, exploring, reviewing and paying tribute to different things, Q&As and more. On Mondays and Tuesdays I do gameplay videos where it's straight up gameplay and nothing else, although sometimes there can be let's plays depending on if the long game that I'm doing this series of videos on has much dialogue or not. And then every Wednesday I'll do a let's play video for any particular game that I want to play at that point in time, whether it's a game that I want to return to or just a completely brand new game altogether. So yeah, and I also do occasional shorts as well. See you in the next one. Peace to you all. And remember the gifts that Matsumi gave you. Remember that he gave life to the world. He's basically the Jesus / God or whatever of Bionicle. And don't let his brother Makuta terrorize you or cast shadow over everything. Yeah, it's definitely a franchise that's definitely worth checking out. Unfortunately, buying the sets are very scarce now because you either have to fork out a fortune just to buy the sets because with their retired status. But if you ever get the chance to, do check out Bionicle, especially with Bionicle Day coming up very soon, which is always celebrated on YouTube. So yeah, all right, noodles.